By now, you've all heard of Italian Wine Unplugged 2.0, the latest book published by Mama Jumbo Shrimp. It's more than just another wine book. The fully updated second edition was inspired by students of the Vinitaly International Academy and painstakingly reviewed and revised by an expert panel of certified Italian wine ambassadors from across the globe. The book also includes an edition by Professore Attilio Scienza, Italy's leading vine geneticist. The benchmark producers feature is a particularly important aspect of this revised edition. The selection makes it easier for our readers to get their hands on a bottle of wine that truly represents a particular grape or region. To pick up a copy, just head to Amazon.com or visit us at MamaJumboShrimp.com.
Italian Wine Podcast, a Wine2Wine Business Forum 2021 media partner, is proud to present a series of sessions highlighting the key themes and ideas from the two-day event held on October the 18th and 19th, 2021. This hybrid edition of the Business Forum was jam-packed with the most informed speakers discussing some of the hottest topics in the wine industry today. For more information, please visit wine2wine.net and tune in every Thursday at 2 p.m. Central European Time for more episodes recorded during this latest edition of Wine2Wine Business Forum.
So thank you so much for being here. Belarusians, very happy that you would like to know some details about our country and specifics. And let me introduce our speaker for today, Maria Zhelezniak. Maria is a wine expert for the biggest retailer in Belarus, as well as she's consultant, which name is Eurotorg. As well, she's a consultant for a new wine and spirits chain that's called Seven Friday. And moreover, she's a distributor of boutique winery products to Belarusian HoReCa.
So let me introduce my moderator, Veronica Busil. She is born in Belarus, but for the time being, she is living in Portugal. And she is working as a marketer for the Wine Travel Awards. So,
we'll start with a market overview, and I hope you will understand why this market is very particular and why it's called the dark market.
Just a few words about the country. So we are not the big one. Current population is about 10 million. Minsk is a capital, and also we have a 5 regional city. Regards to the economical situation, it's not the stable one. There are several reasons for that. Firstly, we quite severely depend from Russia, and that dependence increased since last political crisis. Also, not stable currency, a decrease in household income, negative forecast from Standard & Poor's, and immigration for sure had an impact. As for political situation you might heard of, it doesn't seem to be soon resolved because the unbelievable level of violence and repressions our country faced during last year resulted in a total destruction of our justice system and left a huge trauma, I think, even for the next generation. For the time being, there are 800 persons who are officially recognized as a political prisoner, and almost NGO are closed during this year, and as well as independent media, and some journalists are present as well, unfortunately. But let's have a conversation about the wines. Just a few figures in order to give you an idea about the capacity and the category shares. As you could see, we are mainly beer and spirit markets, traditionally. So local wines generated the main volume, while imported, it seems to be faster growing than domestic ones. When we are talking about split by the countries, we have to say that Italian wines is on the first place just after the historical key region for our country as Moldova and Georgia, with incredible growth up to 60% during 5 last years. So you could see that Belarusian consumer are in love with Italian wines, and that are proved by the figures. So, by the price bands, almost all categories, excluding entry level, are imported ones. And as it happens in all markets which faced some difficult time, premium and ultra premium category is growing up, while low price segment is also growing, and from the import price from the import point of view become more and more visible. By the color division, red wines is prevailing quite traditionally, while rosé remaining the niche category is growing really fast in the percentage and have a prospect of further growth. Sparkling. So his as well. Local wines generated the main volume, but Italian wines is on the first place among all other imported countries with share about 30%. So there are all possibilities to conquer the market. Legislation restrictions and the rules. As you could see, it's not an easy task. So first of all, our country is strictly regulated through the quotas. And for the time being, it is about 40 companies who have a special license from the government. But only 12 of them are working on the imports only, focused on imports only. Mainly, and the last, mainly the companies with government share or government company. And quite often they are not really involved in this import business, but they are able to give a possibility for those who are wanted to have quotas but not able to receive them, to give a possibility to work through them. So we receive a so-called secondary market for quotas, or such called technical quotas. Quite complicated system. Excise stamp, it also strictly regulated and with a difficult accounting, and besides it is really short terms of validity, which could bring for another difficulties. Certification rules. First of all documents from European country as well as from the North America, for example, are not recognized by our authorities. So you have to do it again. Then sediments is forbidden, even if it's noble one. So such we receive the situation when to bring the aged wines, like specific or brilliant aged wine to our market is unsolvable problem. That's why pet nut as a category forbidden as well. Also, canned wines are not allowed, not because of the sediment reason, but just because it's suggested not the healthy enough for our domestic consumer. So, labels restrictions. What could be there? Images of people or animals on the bottle are not allowed until it is a part of registered trademarks. So once you deliver some nice wine with huge Hitchcock on the label, just be prepared that you have to deliver an official letter that this Hitchcock is a part of your trademark since 15th century. So, yeah, that's...
Yeah, and answering to about dark market, just a small comment, Maria. The thing is that all analytics it's strictly hidden. It's just in between companies. That's why it's very important to meet real experts. And please ask us more questions in a discussion time. And
I would like to say that to send the samples, it's also forbidden until you have a signed contract and specification. So once you go through all this long part of negotiation, you're only then able to send the samples, and you could understand that then the seller could realize that they don't want this wine, unfortunately. So let's go in further for and let's particularly looking for the level of representation in the Italian region. So as Established almost in all East European countries, the preference of consumer is following this: Piedmont, Veneto, Tuscany, Apulia, and Sicily. Then we have a list of regions which are not sufficiently represented, and some of them are not presented at all. So it's plain to see, there are some regions with advantage of novelty and actually opportunities for us. I would like to focus your attention on some particular appellations, which from my personal point of view could be interesting and suitable for our consumer. For sure, sweet wines remain the very niche category, while sparkling is growing, and we will discuss it later. And still wines really have a space in the markets to be there.
Yeah, so this is the most important part of the presentation. It's about how distribution works. So please, Maria.
Talking about the split in between HoReCa and retail, we will start from the HoReCa channel. About 50% of wines above €6 are distributed through the HoReCa channel and sales through the HoReCa channel, sales. And it is already considered as a middle segment for our market. So strong position of cocktail bars. As we are mainly spirit company, it's not so difficult to find the followers for the cocktail based on it. And besides main spirits company, international spirits company, working really successfully with our barman society in order to promote the culture. Democratic wine bars are trendy. It's become more and more desired to spend the time with a glass of wine. And some trendy bars are capable to generate a volume comparable with really good average retail account. Besides, it is a key place to spread notes about the new style or new wine region. So, sommelier position is rare at our market, even for the top places. Unfortunately, restaurant owners are not ready to understand that sommelier position as important as chef. Besides, we have no domestic schools for sommelier, and education abroad is not always affordable for everyone. So thus, to provide a tasting, to lead workshops is really important for the domestic wine society, and could be a really good tool to work through. Sparkling, rosé, bio, virgin, and amber wines become more and more fashionable, and creating a huge interest from the consumer, they remaining still a very niche category. Closures due to COVID and political reason. So first of all, there were no quarantine at all in our country. Thus, it was no support from the government side. But bars and restaurants were empty because of the social distance measures were implemented voluntarily by people themselves. And it was like difficult time for them. Besides, last autumn, almost all key HoReCa accounts decided to take a part in general strike against the violence. They were closed only for one day, but then almost all participants were closed because of manufacturing grounds. Some of them were able to make a reopening within a few months. Some of them, even fashion, trendy, or on historical value, were closed forever. That's the real situation. So, specialized shops mainly belong to the distributors, and almost always they are focused on their own portfolio. So, for those distributors who doesn't have their enoteque or wine boutique, it's quite easy but difficult task to find a way on the shelf. Growth of competence among cavists. Unlike restaurant owner, big companies, big distribution companies already understand that it is quite important to educate cavists. So each company has their own coach, and we have no competitions for the sommelier, but we have such an event for the cavist. Thus, to implement special program for the cavists is really workable scheme for promotion. at our market. Going further, new specialized chain focused on middle and middle minor segment. It is a new direction at our market. The price positioning lies in between standard retail and wines boutique, and that gives an opportunity for the final consumer to meet their needs from the price point of view. Besides, it gives to the producer, to the seller, to present the category of the wines which were not suitable for the standard retail before. And when we are talking about retail, since a few years, retailers start to receive their own quotas. And that changed the market significantly because in entry-level category, I mean.
Are you enjoying this podcast? There's so much more high-quality wine content available from Mama Jumbo Shrimp. Check out our new wine study maps, our books on Italian wine, including Italian Wine Unplugged, The Jumbo Shrimp Guide to Italian Wine, Sangiovese Lambrusco and Other Stories, and much, much more on our website, mamajumboshrimp.com. Now back to the show.
Retailer receive a possibility to create their own unique shelf with unique assortment. And from another side, the distributor who were focused on entry-level segment, now they face the huge difficulties. But for the producer and for the seller, it is a new client and it is a new opportunity of communication. Price-sensitive consumer is really clear because of the economical reason I mentioned above. The only channel to create a volume, because once you meet your needs, especially from the price point of view, the volume could grow significantly. And sometimes we face a situation when the supplier is not able to cover the needs. And when he solves this issue, the quotas could be spent in another direction. Thus, potentially interesting brands would disappear actually from the market. About 80% of wines distributed through the retail are below €2. It is another point of limitation, and because not all regions have wines in a such price category.
Yeah, and Maria, very often Belarusians are compared with Russians, with Ukrainians. What are the specifics of consumers in Belarus?
I would say that it's quite European consumers, and I will try to describe it shortly in the topic of fashion and main tendencies. Actually, like everywhere, organic, biodynamic wines become more and more trendy. Followers are mostly the consumer from the generation Z and Y, and new searchers who are always looking for something new. But as I told, it is still really niche category. Then bright, unusual, easy to remember labels. Consumers are buying with the eyes, especially unexperienced ones. So taking in mind all restrictions about the labels in our country, I could say that such eye-catchable labels are not really often because of that regulation, but almost always successful. Then growing interest for all sparkling category, for sure. As we saw from the figures, the sparkling is growing as everywhere. And Lambrusco in entry-level segment, sweet Lambrusco, it is a point to switch the young consumer from the beer. Dry Lambrusco presented almost in all key HoReCa accounts. Prosecco is growing everywhere, including new rosé category, as well as Cartizia and Valdobbiadene. Franciacorta is not presented sufficiently, and Trento is not presented at all. But once it will arise, I think it will find the way to the heart of consumer. And growing interest for unknown region. Actually, part of consumer already understood that Italian wines may give an experience of fascinating journey, and novelty often gets rapidly popular. So some distinctive features from neighboring markets following your question. We have quotas limitation, and for sure, these restrictions is influenced strongly at our market. Thus, we have a lag in trends about 2-3 years compared to our neighboring markets. But it is somehow an advantage as well, because we are able to see how these or that direction are growing and filling in the nearest area. Small community of wine enthusiasts, really small, and they have a deal with a difficult topic of market development. So any help from the seller sides, from the producer sides, would be a key element of the market strategy to come to the market. Less technical possibilities to spread the information, and that probably we could discuss right now. Marketing and main promotional channel. Advertising is forbidden. Outdoor advertising is forbidden, unfortunately, as well. So we have only 2 magazines who are allowed to print a photo of the bottles and also to make descriptions of the wine. In that situation, social networks and influencer and blogger start to play a main role for sure, and to find a proper influencer who will be capable to bring your idea or values in the best or in the right, correct way, it is really sensitive and important question, because it not always happens like this, unfortunately. So, we hope that Belarusian Association of Sommelier and Cavist, which is not fully molded yet, will take a proper role in the market development.
I think we are moving, right?
Yeah, we're going further, and tasting and dinner as a main way for promotion. It is to meet a final consumer. It is the most efficient tool in each market. In our case, it start to play really important role. So to find a good promoter which is capable to organize such an event in the best way, it's really a must. That's why it's placed in both ATL and BTL. So, regarding the BTL, no possibility to organize a cross-promo while cultural or sports event. Unfortunately, you are not able to be a part of opera nights or cinema nights. You are not able to present your sparkling during the horse racing, because all activities should be led only in place which have an alcohol license. Another one, restrictions. So, and special price activities. To show the percentage of discount, it is forbidden. To underline some promo items using color highlighting, it is forbidden as well. But being restricted from all sides, marketer creates a great idea to highlight such an items with warning tags. And it is, I think, really brilliant idea. Wine festivals, neck hangers, leaflets are also common using tools.
Yeah, and as Maria told at the beginning, 2020 was a crazy year for Belarus. While all the world suffered from pandemic, Belarus suffered double. So, but anyway, we think there are positive things that might happen in next years, right?
Yes, I think that we still have a perspectives of market development. First of all, there are a possibility of unification in legislation with Russia and Kazakhstan markets. It is a long time of negotiation about this, and once it will happen, it may significantly simplify the entrance to the market, as well as all certification procedure and logistic question. Abolition of the quotas. It is a gold dream of all importers that once the institute of quotas will be removed, and those producers who will be able to enter to the market before, they will have an advantage for sure. Small society brings the quick spread of information. That means that if you will find a golden key to the heart of just a few wine influencer or wine specialists, be sure that very soon all involved in that sphere audience will have an idea about your wines, for sure. Also, the market, but the market is empty. There are huge quantity of not sufficiently represented regions. There is no tough competitions. And thus, those brave ones who dare to start conquering the market will be for sure rewarded. As for political situation, we are sure that it might not last forever. And once the situation has changed, it will be a really perfect opportunities of really significant growth of the market, because the market by themselves is able to grow further and growing fast. So actually that's it. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much for being with us today.
I would love to answer your question if there are some.
So how big is a successful imported wine brand in Belarus today? Do you have any idea of the volumes for one brand?
It's comparable, for sure. It is different figures in the spirits and wine category, for sure. When we are talking about the figures, particular figures, it could be about 40,000 hectoliters, for example, per one brand.
Can you repeat?
So, to repeat the question, how many bottles would you have seen in Belarus for a successful brand up until now of wine, not spirits?
Yeah, when we are talking about the wine, it is about 40,000 hectoliters, like just average amount for quite successful brand, because of the limitation of the quota as well. Because sometimes we have the quotas is fixed, and the brand could do more and more turnover, but because of these restrictions, they limitized, and you have to spread your quotas in between several directions. For example, you are not able to place all your quotas on one brand. Otherwise, all other will disappear. So even if you want to promote some successful brand further, you have to think that, you have to place some space for another players.
Any other question?
I have a question regarding certification. Is it a bit similar like in Russia or more complicated?
I'm not so... I don't have precise information regards to the procedure of certification on Russian market, but as far as I know, it's more difficult because all new delivery have to go through certification procedure. As far as I know, in Russian market, you can just make it once per year, for example, or if vintage is changed. Also, there are several restrictions, as I mentioned, with the labels, with the sediments, and I think it's a little bit more complicated. Yeah.
Hello, and then if I give you my email address, would you be able to email me later the name of the 12 importers in Belarus? I'm sorry if I'm so straightforward about it. Thank you.
Okay.
Just the name then.
Actually, I'm also importer, so in case you are interested we could discuss it further or later on.
And as Maria mentioned, there is technical quotas, and it's more important to be expert in this market. You will find the way to get them.
You said the price is generally under €2 ex sellers for selling in volume in Belarus. For the big successful brands, are you guessing at a price of 150, 180? Do you know the sort of price that is the target for a successful brand in Belarus in volume?
It is a price. Actually, as I mentioned, it is mainly for retail, because there the almost all volume is created with wines under or about €2. And 150, 180, it's absolutely a suitable price. But and main brand, world's main brand is like propose that kind of price category. For sure, we have a price about €1 or even below in case of Spain category or when we're talking about Moldovan wines. But mostly it is about €2, but not often over them.
Thank you.
Any other question?
Hi. Considering all the taxes and excises, more or less, how much is multiplied the price, ex-works price, becoming the retail price in your market?
It depends on if you use technical quotas or your own, for sure, because for technical quotas you have to pay additionally. Also, it depends on the volume, because when you ask for the quotas, you have to pay for each custom quote, and in case it is like minor quantity, the pressure become bigger, and if it is like a truck with one custom quote, it's easier, but usually it's multiplied about twice time.
And the e-commerce is forbidden, I guess, right?
E-commerce is forbidden at all. So we are quite successful in e-commerce when we are talking about the food. But unfortunately, wines is forbidden as a category for e-commerce.
Okay, thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Listen to the Italian Wine Podcast wherever you get your podcasts. We're on SoundCloud, Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Himalaya FM, and more. Don't forget to subscribe and rate the show. If you enjoy listening, please consider donating through ItalianWinePodcast.com. Any amount helps cover equipment, production, and publication costs. Until next time, cin cin.